And that's something else I want to go kind of soapbox on, and this is probably going to get me more harsh comments than anything else. You know what? I don't give a crap. I don't do this for you. I do this because I want to make my opinions known. If you don't agree with what I'm going to say here, you know, that's just fine with me. If you agree with me, more power to you. If not, I don't want to hear it. Because it's not going to change my mind. This is what I have to say. The person at fault for the murders of Nancy and Daniel Benoit and the suicide of Chris Benoit is everyone. Yes, Chris Benoit directly connected the deed, but there is no one innocent in all of this except Daniel Benoit. All of us are guilty. You know, the wrestling companies, the entire wrestling industry is at fault for this tragedy. You know, Chris Benoit obviously is at fault because he had some underlying psychological issues and he did not get that settled out. Nancy Benoit is at fault because she didn't help her husband find help for whatever was plaguing him at the time. The wrestling companies and Vince McMahon, they're at fault for, while not directly encouraging drug use, doing less than they should to discourage it. Now, I know I've heard a lot of people say that the wellness program is good, including very many wrestling superstars that I respect, like Chris Jericho and Matt Hardy and Ken Kennedy. I respect those guys in every way imaginable. And I believe them when they say that the WWE is doing what they can in the wellness program. But there is still this feeling about the wrestling industry where if you're not big, you're not going to succeed. I mean, Rey Mysterio was a complete aberration from what normally happens, and that's only because Rey Mysterio is really the only person who was an ECW original that has been able to adapt to WWE style. He is the only one who is considered a cruiserweight, or as Kevin Nash used to call him, vanilla midget. I shudder every time I try and say that. That has stepped up and gone above and beyond to try to make himself fit into the WWE style. He's the only one who's been able to do that successfully, and he's been rewarded for that. But by and large, the smaller guys do not succeed in the business. And unfortunately, the smaller guys are often the ones who are the better workers. They're the ones who don't get injured very often. And when they do get injured, they take care of them right away. They don't, pump themselves full of drugs for weeks and try and go out there and make themselves better until it gets so bad that they can't work anymore. And I'd like to think that's not what Edge is doing. I'd like to think he's getting his injuries taken care of as soon as he can. But, it's pretty much the wrestling industry, while they may not say it specifically, is pretty much go big or go home. Christian Cage didn't get anywhere near what he was doing in WWE because he wasn't one of the bigger guys. That's why he went over to TNA. Samoa Joe, he's a big guy, but he's naturally a big guy. He's not fat. He's naturally big, and he can move a lot for his size. He would never make it in WWE. I mean, forget about them trying to push Viscera in ECW. Guy with bigger man boobs than most women have. Samoa Joe, because he is so big, and yet because he is sub 300, and yet he is mobile. He's 280 odd pounds, and the guy moves like he's 230 maybe. He would never be able to make it in WWE. But the biggest person I think is at fault, and the reason why I say everyone is at fault for what happened with Chris Benoit, Nancy, and Daniel, is the wrestling fans. Because we are the ones who look at these wrestlers and we want more out of them. We are the ones that push them to their limits. We're the ones that show up at the house shows that they put on 300 plus days a year. We're the ones who keep pushing and pushing these superstars to keep coming in whenever they're injured, whenever they're tired, whenever something is going on that has got their mind all in a muddle. We're the ones who keep wanting them to come in and perform for us anyway. And it's nice when they do that, but really what we need to do is recognize that sometimes these guys might need some time off. They might need some time to cool down. They might need some time to get whatever psychological issues they might be trying to hide while they're out performing, get those clear. Because if we don't realize that, then there are going to be more tragedies. There are going to be more early deaths in the wrestling industry. And again, the person at fault will not be the wrestler, will not only be the wrestler that died and the industry that's supporting them, but also the fans who keep pushing and pushing and pushing for more and more and more. That's all I've got this time. I was going to go into Victory Road, but I think I spent way too much time on that rant to go into Victory Road. But I have quite a few rants on Victory Road. I can probably split the videos up, so I'll go right ahead and go into Victory Road then. I'm going to start with what I like to call the Foregone Conclusion Match of the night. Now, why do I call it the Foregone Conclusion Match? Because you knew what was gonna happen here. And that was the Match of Champions. Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle, the X Division and World Champion respectively, going up against the TNA Tag Team Champions, 20-time Tag Team Champions, 3D. Now come on. You knew Bubba Ray. You knew that Brother Ray and Brother Devon weren't going to become X Division Champion. You knew that neither one of them was going to become World Champion. They are not singles wrestlers. They are tag team specialists. They have made their money and they have made their fame off of being tag team specialists. So, they weren't going to win the singles championship. And Kurt Angle, being as egotistical as he is, saying that, oh, he's the real superstar and he's the one who made TNA, he wasn't going to win because Samoa Joe wasn't going to let him win. So the only person who could have won that match and could have won the tag team titles was Samoa Joe. And look what happens. The Steiner brothers make their return and, oh my God, Samoa Joe manages to get the pin on Brother Ray, and he wins the tag team titles. Oh my God, what a shocker! Foregone conclusion match of the night. Not a shocker.